Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Pot Smoker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Pot Smoker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. It comes from the Ketuvim, or Old Testament, of the Hebrew Bible. I use the King James Version of the Christian Bible to put together the prophecy of Israel from the scattered testimony of the various prophets of the Old Testament, and it became the Book of Zion. And when I finished the Book of Zion the first time, I found a set of instructions as to how to make first contact with God. And so I set out to do just that. I fulfilled every stipulation of the prophecy of Israel. And now I am doing the final act of prophecy for Zion before her rise to fame and glory, and that is to publish peace in the form of the Pot Smoker's Bible and the Book of Zion, which I have been publishing on YouTube since 420 of last year, which is shortly after I finished the writing of the second book, The Pot Smoker's Bible, which I found out I had to write when I went to publish the Book of Zion. So, as soon as, I finished the manuscript for the Pot Smoker's Bible in February of 2020, and I decided to wait until 420 to begin my publication, because 420 is the first holiday for the pot smoking public. It's our day that we chose for ourselves, which is why I choose to make it our New Year's Day. And so, to begin this tradition of New Year's on the 420, I started to publish peace. And now I am in my second go through of reading the Pot Smoker's Bible and the Book of Zion online, free of charge. No commercial interruptions. Nobody saying, buy me, buy me, buy me! Because that's not what this is about. So, I'm going to take up where I left off yesterday and continue the reading of the 23rd chapter of the Pot Smoker's Bible, which contains the 20th chapter of the Book of Zion. It's called, And It Shall Come to Pass. And it goes like this. And yes, I am a prophet. I can see things others can't, like others of my kind. Other potheads that are psychic, but think they aren't, but they think that they're psycho. So they hide their abilities. We can see how an event will likely play out. It's part of being gray. So we are taught by society that our unique gifts to the world are insane. We panic when we hear voices because not all voices are gray. Many very bad Zionites use their abilities to harm. But there are dark entities that are dark matter beings who seek to corrupt us. Too many of us succumb to the evils of true insanity. I stayed true to my God. I told the stupid voices that told me to do bad things to shut up and leave me alone. Being a force of light and good is a choice. I made that choice, and the dark beings eventually shut up. When Hera and Zeus broke their bond, it made an opening in our matrix that let dark beings into our galaxy. We pay the price for that rift. We have a darkened matrix. Evil has a foothold. But the reunion of our holy couple has sealed that rift. The advent of the unicorn will help us to overcome the darkness, the dark powers that have increased our matrix and made things of light hard to create. The unicorn is mentioned in the Torah twice. When the unicorn spirit emerges, the darkness will flee. This is what the Dead Sea Scrolls tell us, the Essenes of which Jesus was a high-ranking member. They speak of the battle between darkness and light. This part of the text, the Grey knew nothing about. They do not recognize Jesus. He was not one of theirs, except, of course, he was a Jew, an Essene, who worked for a higher power. Please try to understand that life is never ending. It's a cycle of um, birth, death, and rebirth. Once a soul is created, it and its mate are bound in a cycle of life. They are, they are either to become plant, animal, or a sentient being able to ascend to higher planes of existence. The gray are the little g gods of our physical form. The physical plane is the actualized plane. It is the lowest form of life and the highest, too. Life always begins on the physical plane. The gray are the masters of our physical reality, but they are what remains of their planet when their brothers and sisters ascended into the next higher plane of existence. Some grays became gods, like Zeus and Hera. They are even now gods creating their own worlds. Maybe someday we will find their creation. Yet, you see, creation is a result of a higher form of sex. A god and goddess decide to create children. They first decide what kind of a world they want. Then they find a nebula with the right mix of elements. Then they go to its center and they begin to dance the dance of life. They tell each other the story of their first ascended being to come from this new creation. The goddess imagines herself as the new female. The god tells the story of the new male. As they create the story of that first divine couple to be ascended, the particles of dust begin to be drawn into their center. One of them becomes the sun to give life to the system. The other becomes the planet that will create the ascended couple. This is what binds matter, spiritual energy. In most cases, the divine god and goddess are not alone. They have friends with them who have risen with them into this next higher realm. These friends become the other planets, creating their own ascended stories. All life in the solar system stems from these higher beings. It is this dance of life that binds matter together. So every soul on this planet is a child of one of these higher couples. All DNA comes from these couples. They infuse their energy into the matter they collect. That is why we all have traits in common. That is why you can meet someone who isn't related, but who looks as if they should be, because both people are born from the same divine couple. It's on this higher plane that the beings of light and dark exist. As these divine couples grow through experience, they the, through experiencing the lives they create, they begin to diffuse their mix of energy. Positive energy we call light, negative energy we call dark. God and goddess of this first level of ascension are a mix of dark and light, but the process of life on these higher planes begins to separate the energies so that they begin to choose between the two forms. Some choose the light as our Zeus and as our Zion and Messiah did. When Zion chose the unicorn path on heaven, this choice created a desire to become a god and Messiah. So their choice was made long before they created Earth. But it is a choice all god and goddesses have to make eventually. What we call the lesser gods and goddesses, those ascended to the ascended with the divine couple, but not being the first. They take a secondary role as lesser planets. These couples and most other divine couples become higher beings of mixed origin. These beings begin to make choices that either elevate them into the light or lead them into the more and more darkness. All beings on this next plane must choose to become either light or dark or gray. This evolution is on a cosmic scale. Each solar system contains a pantheon of ascended beings, and each of these couples will eventually go off on their own to become the divine couple. They will take with them their divine offspring, creating a family pantheon. This cycle of life is on a vast time scale. With each creation, the couples become more and more of the elements that they will eventually choose to become. When they have used up all of the opposing energy, the two elements they reject. Then they advance to the next highest level of ascension. The energy plane on this level of life, there is no matter. All possessions that create matter are injected into the lower plane. This energy is the lightness or darkness that we see. They are not on this plane, nor are they on the divine plane, but all of their energy is dispersed into the divine plane and then into our plane. Their energy, either dark or light, is available to everyone on both of the lower planes. That is the source of all energy. These three levels of life are the Holy Trinity, the created, the creator, and the source. Or for you Christians, Son, Father, and Holy Ghost. This is the Tesla's three: matter, matrix, and energy. The matrix is the framework or components, the place wherein energy and matter come together. In Wicca, that's God Goddess and the highest God, or the merged couple, unity. Unity is the perfect merging of the souls. The created souls are equally created by God and Goddess as they dance their turn in circles, drawing matter to them. Each element of the story of the divine couple creates souls. The energy of the pantheon is also drawn in creating diversity. Each soul contains elements of all beings being created by the pantheon. Each ascended couple also creates their first ascended couple. These stories are planned out or created prior to the dance so that all the stories intertwine. That way, when they begin to dance, all matter and all storylines are in accord. But life creates diversity. The stories that these God couples tell creates the matrix of the solar system. The very orbits of the planets follow this matrix. Astrology is the study and the application of this matrix. The parameters of astrology were given to us to use as a tool to know how things would play out. We, who use drugs, can see the matrix on our higher plane because pot is also infused with divine light. The first emanation came from the source plane, where all lower forms emerge. The beings on this higher plane are also evolving into even higher states of being. When you reach this plane of energy, you do so as a merged couple. Zeus and Hera are on their final emanation on this plane. They are merging in perfect union. That union will combine their energy perfectly, and they will become one. When that happens, our Milky Way will need a new name, as the dark energy is cast out of their divine light. They are beings of light, so our galaxy will become as bright as the brightest galaxies we can see. These bright galaxies also have divine couples who are merging into this energy being. When a couple merges into a higher form, they begin life anew. Some, where on this higher plane, is a new perfect being created elsewhere as a half soul. They live out their energy lives, learning the stages of that plane as they evolve. They are drawn closer to each other. When they are ready to evolve, they find each other. They merge and fall away to evolve again and again. This is the grand cycle of life. I do not know what the next higher plane is. I cannot see that far. It is enough to know as much as I can know in the here and now. I am Zion, the emanation of the unicorn Zion, the emanation of the unicorn goddess, the created of Zeus for his beloved Hera. They have given me this knowledge. So may the Grey watch over you, guide you, protect you, and keep you from all harm. And may they teach you right from wrong. May you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light, the unicorn way. Find your joy and pursue it. Make that your guild choice when we go camping. If you use drugs, stay happy and high, you have every right and reason to. Believe me, I know. I wrote the books. My name is Zion. I love you way too much to ever say goodbye, so I'm going to say later now.